Friday, February 8th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable Today, we braved the elements for a winter trip out to Sandy Neck to learn more about resting seal pups. We learned more about Barnstable Recreation February vacation programs. It's not too early to start thinking about summer visitors, and if you're looking for some arts and culture this weekend, check out the Sturgis Charter School one-act plays. First up, municipal news and notes. Barnstable Public Schools kindergarten registration is now open. To enroll your child in kindergarten for September 2019, please visit the district website to begin the online registration process. Pre-register at www.barnstable.k12.ma.us. Seal pups are weaned from their mothers at the tender age of 6 to 8 weeks and are off on their own at this time of the year. Natural Resource Officer Sean Cordes has some reminders for you when you're out on the beach. Shh! Baby seals are resting. We're here out at Sandy Neck, and we have a baby seal resting on the beach. With me today, Natural Resource Officer Sean Cordes. Sean, a little baby seal right out there for us today.
Yeah, it worked out well. This is sort of the time of year where we start to see them on our beaches quite a bit. Generally with the juvenile seals in the beginning of the year, through late winter, early spring, they're hauling up on the beaches to rest as they're sort of spending their first year on their own, learning to hunt and feed and survive.
Right, so they have been weaned, and their weaning period is very short with their mother, so they're literally on their own after 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a very short time nursing, and as far as parental care goes, after that period, the parents aren't teaching them how to hunt and feed, so they're sort of out on their own. They got to learn how to catch fish, how to survive, and save up that energy through the winter and make it through really probably the hardest part of the year as far as weather conditions and resources go.
Right, and learning to fish, so they're kind of hauled out and resting right now because they're not very successful at it.
Exactly, so that's the thing. They're, until they become efficient at it, they're wasting a lot of more energy than they should be in order to get the calories and the energy that they need to survive. So for the most part this time of year, you're going to see them hauled up a lot more, and that's not always abnormal for them to do. Because they're marine mammals, oftentimes people think they belong in the water the whole time, which is true for a lot of marine mammals like whales and dolphins. They need to be in the water, but seals, they actually need to go up on land from time to time in order to survive.
Right, so when you're doing these observations, when do you start to get concerned that the seal isn't well?
So there's a number of things we take into account with that. We definitely want to go out and from a very safe distance be able to check those animals and see if there's anything obvious. So, first would be something like lacerations, bruises, scrapes, that sort of stuff. And even that's not always necessarily an issue. Some of those can be superficial, but that's usually one of the more obvious things just that, can be noticed. And then behavior is very big as well. So oftentimes if there's any sort of abnormal behavior, for instance, some seals when they're in distress they'll start eating sand and rocks, which can be a big issue. Down here, oftentimes those animals are used to being up north where there's snow and ice that they would be ingesting instead. And then, any sort of respiratory issues, so how they're breathing, if they're panting, and just other behavioral issues, so if they're really lethargic or they just don't seem to be moving the way that they should. We take all that into consideration. We don't make any sort of final determination. We work with IFA. We have a really good working relationship with them, and ultimately we'll pass all that information on, and they can make a determination on whether or not an animal just needs some time to rest on the beach, or if it might need to be taken in for rehab or something like that.
And as a natural resource officer, even you folks don't want to get close to these animals because they do imprint.
Exactly. So that's the thing is, the most important thing is to give these animals their space so that if they are just resting, we're not disturbing them and forcing them back into the water when they don't need to be. All of this time that they have is really crucial for that. So if a seal's getting disturbed and it's forced back into the water when it's trying to rest, that'll start to catch up to it. And you'll notice that they'll, they become more lethargic and they're not able to have the energy to hunt. And then, sometimes we'll see those issues with the seals that are emaciated out here as well. That's another factor we take into account during observations.
Kind of like a toddler without a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
So what advice do you have for people that are out here hiking? Obviously today was a beautiful day. It's like spring out here. Mm-hmm. What do you have for advice for folks if they encounter one of these animals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a few things. It's definitely important. We always appreciate the information if someone does encounter an animal. Even if it's a healthy animal, it's always nice to be able to report that. So here at Sandy Neck Beach, you can call the Sandy Neck Gatehouse, and we have the resources and ability to go out and respond and observe. Otherwise, the IFA Marine Mammal Hotline, you can contact that number, and they'd be able to sort of guide you through the steps of what other information might be required. Other than that, there's a few really important things to keep in mind, that these animals are federally protected. You are required to keep at least 150 feet away from the animal. And truly we recommend more than that. If you notice that the seal is looking up at you or it's moving away and it can clearly see that you're around, then you want to take a few more steps back and give that animal its space and the ability for it to rest. Binoculars are a great thing to have because you can always get those really cool sort of up-close observations without having to disturb an animal. Another thing is dogs. So out here we get a lot of dogs, and it's really important, even if it was an area where a dog was allowed off leash, you want to get your dog back and leash it up and make sure that it's safe for both the animal's safety and for your pet's safety. Seals and dogs are very closely related in the grand scheme of things, and they do have the ability to transfer some of those diseases between each other. And so, that's certainly one thing we don't want to see for either animal, is to run into an issue like that. And then, yeah, it's just a matter of keeping in mind, that these animals they do come out of the water from time to time, and they don't necessarily, it's best if we sort of keep our distance and let them do their thing, and then let IFA sort of make the determination on if there's something more than that. So we don't want to get too close to the animal and, disturb it or anything like that. We've had, unfortunately, instances where people have put blankets on seals because they thought they were cold or lonely or, something like that, which, people probably mean well, but unfortunately that's very bad for the animal. So.
Right, so let them rest. Mm-hmm. Toddlers need their sleep.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Sean.
Yeah, thank you.
No, not another school vacation, you say? Barnstable Recreation and the Hyannis Youth and Community Center answer the working parent call with programs and open gym time for the week. It's that vacation that you're never sure what to do with the kids. Well, Barnstable Recreation has a solution for you. With me today, Mark Bordley and Mickey Davies. There's lots to do on February vacation with Barnstable Rec.
Yes, there is. Of course there is, especially for the working parent. So you can always drop your kids off at our February vacation program. Make sure you register for that. We have about 5 spaces left for that program. Great program, which runs from February 19th on Tuesday all the way through Friday, February 22nd, and it is from 8:30 until 4 o'clock. So if you're a working parent, it's a great place for your kid to go for a nice productive day, having fun with great staff, arts and crafts, games, a little cooking, field trips. So a lot of great things to do.
And over at HYCC, open gym the
all
whole week.
Yeah, basically all winter the kids have been kind of suffering because the high schools have been in there, right. And they're going to practice in the mornings. They'll be out by noon, and then we're 12 to 9 every day for the kids. Okay. The gym will be open, the game room will be open, the cafe will be open. They'll be skating during the week every day. The place will be jamming.
Right. It will be a great time. We're actually going to go there for the vacation program and do a little skating and use some of the youth center and game room as well. Yeah. So it really is a great place to go.
So let's talk a little bit. The Vacation Fun program is at the Centerville Recreation?
At the Centerville Recreation Building, right. But we do leave it, we have the availability of all 3 of our recreation vans. So we're able to, on nice days, maybe go to different playgrounds if the weather is nice, like it was yesterday, beautiful. Right. We get to go to the bowling alley, to the HYCC. We'll also use the gym at the Barnstable Intermediate School. The Centerville Rec Building has no gym, so we're going to use that a couple days a week to do some real great games, in and out, medic, kickball, all the kind of fun things that might not be able to do outside if the weather is not good.
Right, and I heard that there's a pizza?
Pizza day, yeah, the last day. Don't bring your lunch, but bring your lunch for the first 3 days.
Right.
And on the last day, we're going to do a big pizza party at Polio's, and then we'd have a big make your own ice cream sundae party after that. So
Wow,
it's a great
pizza
time.
and ice cream.
We just fill them up with junk on that last day and send them home.
And then you also do have some the bowling and arcade as well scheduled
Yes,
too,
yeah.
and movies.
And the movies, yeah. And we're going to
Fantastic.
try to see something good. I'm hoping that something is, really age appropriate and good and playing at that time.
Fantastic.
So, and there usually is, because it's February vacation, so they send all that stuff out then.
Right. And what do parents need to remember when they're dropping off kids at the HYCC for this open gym?
Yep. The kids need to have a membership or get a day pass. So,
Okay.
and we like all parents to kind of come in and at least say hello to the staff, kind of check in. That way that, it keeps that door of communication open in case something happens to the child or so on and so forth. But yeah, just show up, drop your child off. If they don't have a membership, come in with them. Our staff will help you out, give you the forms you need, and you can take care of it all right there. Memberships are $20 a year per person if you're a Barnstable resident, and the day passes are only $5, so you can hang out all day shooting baskets. The staff will organize games, kind of do maybe some skills stuff if there's enough willing participants, and then in the game room they have all the game tables to take part of. So.
Right. And then the skating as well. There's rentals?
There are rentals there. Typically every day we'll have public skate from 10 to 2. And yes, we have rentals. They're available for $5, and skating's $5 for all the students, and adults are $7. So it's, the whole family can kind of come down and take part of what's going on.
Right.
And even though at the HYCC it is a drop-in type of situation, the February Vacation Fund program is a registered program. So you
Right.
would have to go online or go into the HYCC and register for that, and that is a $125 fee for the 4 days.
For the 4 days, and that includes some
That is-
snacks
yes.
and some...
Snacks, arts and crafts, field trips, the whole thing.
Okay.
Kit and caboodle.
Kit and caboodle. Is there an age group for that
Yes.
fun program?
Yep, it's children who are in grades 1 through 5.
1 through 5, so that's your younger kids. And then some of those latchkey kids, it's perfect for open gym.
Correct. So always something to do down on our
Working
place.
together.
Excellent. Thanks so much. We appreciate you stopping in today.
Well,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
Gateway greeter Grace Rogers has some fantastic news. Summer is coming, and now is your chance to plan for a successful season at the Bismore Park Welcome Center. This polar vortex actually has us thinking about summer already. With me today, Grace Rogers with the Gateway Greeter program for Bismore Park. Grace, summer's coming, right?
Oh, a few months away, but we're getting there.
But you're already gearing up for summer. So let's start off with telling folks, what is the Gateway Greeter program?
The Gateway Greeter program was established in 2015, and it's located in the hub of Barnstable Hyannis right here. And really the goal is to make sure that everybody's experience, including residents and visitors, is enhanced and that it's better and that everybody has better access to information about the town resources as well as how they can enjoy their day on any given summer day. So.
All right. So most of the resources are right there, literally at the harbor. People getting off the boats and coming down to visit. You've been a Gateway Greeter down in that area. Tell us a little of that experience. People get off, and do they know where they are?
Sometimes it's pretty exciting. Sometimes people actually fly to the island, so taking the ferry back, they're uncertain where they're located, and that's why we're there. Other people do their homework and they have their whole day planned out, their whole vacation, but sometimes we have little tidbits, of course, about how to enjoy your day in the sand. Other than that, people come down for a day trip and they say, what do we do? And we're happy to help.
And this is where the brochure program comes in, what we're talking about today. So, I come in and I might have an idea of one activity that I want to do, but I kind of want some ancillary things around. So what is the brochure program? How does that help enhance a visit?
Absolutely. So the brochure program really is a way to kind of crowdsource all of the networks that we have available and resources, and it's really open to anybody ranging from arts and culture for nonprofit businesses to for-profit. and they are given a space from $100 if you're a nonprofit cultural to $150 if you are a for-profit cultural organization, and then $200 for-profit for the entire season, which is from April to December. And they have the ability to put any brochures, flyers, anything that they think that would help the program and to market their business in the Welcome Center, which is great because it goes from everything from accommodations for lodging to restaurants to flyers about what you can do throughout your day, different events, anything from 5K fundraisers. It's just everything. So if people need something to do, if people are looking for certain answers, even for residents, it's the place to go.
One-stop shop.
Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do.
There's some retail therapy there too, right?
Oh, of course.
Of course. So how do organizations and businesses get involved with this program?
So there's multiple ways to access this. One being if you go to the town website under the Planning and Development Park Management, if you click on to the left the Welcome Center, right underneath in the blue square is the brochure program. You click on that, the application is right there. They can download it, they can fill it out, they can read the flyer for more information. Other than that, they can always call Planning Development and we can help them as well.
Right, so, and this is a full printed, so people who do rack cards or trifolds or things like that, what if it's oversized? It doesn't always fit in that rack.
So we do encourage trifolds only, your typical brochure that you can pick up, throw in your pocket, in your purse. We do have a few different racks for a full size, but we try to keep it to the average size brochure.
Right. And do you have some deadlines on this? Because, you know, yes, it is the winter, but it's going to come fast.
Yes. Our deadline is right around April 16th.
Okay. And do they have to provide a certain number of brochures to this, or is it a, 100 and done?
Well, so the Welcome Center, we see over 20,000 plus visitors. Wow. So we always ask for 1,000 right off the bat to be printed. And then when we start running low, of course, doing inventory, we'll contact them for more.
All right. Anything else you want to tell folks about the program or about the Welcome Center?
We're just very happy. We can't wait for the summer season. And yeah, we just hope it gets warm soon.
Exactly. Come summer soon. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
The first student-penned play and a new venue for theater productions. Our chat with Sturgis Charter School theater teachers Diane Young and Anna Botsford has all the elements of a fun evening out. How do you get rid of the winter doldrums? By attending one-act plays by students. With me today, Anna Botsford, Diana Young from Sturgis Theater. Welcome.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
You as well.
So into a new semester and some new theater. So there's exciting things for your one-act plays this year. February 8th, 9th, and 10th, the winter one-act plays. And we're going to start with, this is a combined theater evening with both schools, but each school is doing an independent play.
Yes. Correct.
All right, so let's start with Sturgis East. What are you doing?
So Sturgis East is putting on a production called Say Yes. It's a student-written production, first time we've ever done that. So we had a group of students who started over the summer and finished into the fall writing this one-act play about the main character, whose name is Marty, and he's kind of a Debbie Downer. He's had a rough go of it recently. He's not happy at work, home, etc. And kind of as the final straw, his girlfriend breaks up with him for being such a negative person. And he decides, okay, forget this. From now on, I'm going to say yes to every opportunity that comes my way. And that brings him some happiness, but it gets him into some sticky situations. So.
I love that it's student written. Is this the first in the history of Sturgis of having something written by students?
So. It is. Yes, yes. And this was something they initiated too. So at the end of the school year last year, we were talking about our goals for this year, and they said we wanted to write our own one-act play. And I said, all right, go for it. It's up to you. Like, I will support you in that, and you just have to write it. So.
Right. And the writing for that is a little bit different than a general English class, right? So how do students kind of learn the format of script and playwriting?
So a lot of them have taken theater class before, so they've gotten a sprinkling of experience experience with it there. And then I think what I had to work with them a lot on is reminding them that this is theater and not film. So they at one point had this, you know, wild police car chase, and I said, okay, but how are you going to do that on a stage? And so that was a lot of our thought process of how can you put this on a stage and still make it entertaining and still make it believable, but also suggest some of the like excitement and tension in the atmosphere that they're working on.
That sounds fabulous.
It was really fun.
And West?
Yes, West, we are doing the play called A Simple Task by Alan Haynell. I actually just remembered this. This is the first play I ever directed at Sturgis 12 years ago. And I loved doing it. It was more of like an in-class project that we did. And so I found the script and I was reading through it with a lot of my stage students, and they were like, we have to do this play. It's a really quirky little comedy about the main character, Empy. She's just been hired at her first job ever. She's very excited to get the job done. She wants to be the best employee she can be. And her job is to deliver this box to her boss. And each new scene is a different quirky creative character who stops her from completing this task. And so we've had a lot of fun doing character development with these quirky characters. And then each boss that she goes back to is a different boss, but claiming that they are the same person. And what we've done is each boss is being developed after one of the 7 deadly sins. So we've had a lot of fun playing with that whole aspect of it as well, creating characters.
So when students are creating characters, you know, there's a limited amount of, I guess, life experience that a student has. How do you help them kind of understand character development at that age?
I think I've said this before, a lot is not necessarily like, how have you been through this before, but we just play physically in the space first and play with how would you put this character in your body. So that's one way we play with it. We've also, my co-director and I, who's a student, have been showing a lot of different comedian characters, SNL characters, and showing them small little snippets of videos that we want them to play with, like ideas other comedians have come up with. So that's a way we've been kind of playing with character development with this show.
That's great. And talking about physical spaces, exciting news is that you have a physical multi-purpose space now to actually put your own productions on down on Main Street. So talk a little bit about the new space.
So it's brand new. It's totally it's a blank canvas, really. So the goal from Sturgis's standpoint was to be able to house a lot of different types of events in this new space, whether that be theater performances, concerts. We held the lottery there last week, convocation, other events where we've had to go into other people's spaces to now be able to house on our own and to be used by multiple areas of the school. So it was the old Wings building. So it's just really a big open warehouse. So our sort of challenge that we've been working with is how to create this into a theater space. And it's really fun, it's really exciting. It's about equidistant between both campuses, so it really feels like a shared space that all of our students can kind of try their hand at, I guess.
And talking about shared space, there's a supper there.
There is.
Tell us a little bit more about this fundraiser, this spaghetti fundraiser.
One of the things we have to do as far as creating this building into a theater space is we are renting a lot of equipment, such as lights, curtains, and things like that to really give it the right feel and provide the right atmosphere so that we can have stage lighting and do all of the sort of technical effects that we are used to. So that equipment costs a lot of money. So one of the ways we're trying to help defray that cost is with this spaghetti supper event. It's the first time we've ever done a fundraiser like this before. Do you want to say
it's a pretty big undertaking, but we've had a lot of fun planning it. It's for Friday, February 1st from 5 to 7. Not only will you get an amazing spaghetti dinner with all of the fixings and dessert, but there'll be performances from our music department and also other segments from our theater department, like our improv groups are going to be performing. And then at least one scene from each of our plays is going to be doing a little teaser performance for the audience to kind of get them to go, oh, I want to come see this production next week, you know? So it'll be a really fun night of entertainment and food.
Great. And at the door, tickets at the door, is that how it's happening, or do they need to go in advance?
You can reserve tickets ahead of time. So if you wanted to do that, you can email our email address, which is stagetix, so STAGETIX, at sturgischarterschool.org. But you can also purchase tickets the day of at the door.
Excellent. And talking a little bit further here is, I hadn't realized that there was a Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild, and there's a big festival happening, and you're going to enter these two plays.
Yeah, so we're entering both of our one acts into the festival competition, which is the full all-state festival. Both of us are placed at Bourne High School on Saturday, March 2nd. It's a full day of seeing theater. There's 7 other schools that will be at the school performing. And so there are 3 judges that are there. They vote and write up a whole adjudication sheet for your performance, and they choose 3 schools to move on to the semifinal round, which is 2 weeks later.
That's exciting things,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So just to recap, your Spaghetti Supper fundraiser is February 1st, 5 to 7?
Yep.
Correct.
At the new
Yes,
building.
at the new
Building.
space at
And that is
529 Main Street.
529 Main Street. And then your performances are February 8th, 9th, and 10th. Tickets the same way? They can email that
Yep.
ticket address?
Same address, or they can buy at the door.
Okay, and that time for the performances?
7 p.m. is the start of our performances for Friday night, Saturday night, and then 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon.
Wow, lots of performances
Yeah.
that weekend. Well, I wish you all the best of luck in your festival.
Thank you.
And obviously in your new space. How exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Here's a look at things to do, places to go, and people to meet. The Centerville Historical Museum kicks off 2019 with a series of 10 pre-code films. The movie production code was actually in effect at the time these freewheeling, controversial, and frank movies were made, but it wasn't enforced until the middle of 1934 when the censorship office cracked down on Hollywood. Hence, movies made from 1929 to 1934 are considered pre-code. This Saturday, February 9th, a film from 1931, 5-star final. All shows are at a new time at 1 p.m. On Saturdays, admission is free, though donations are gladly accepted. An after-film discussion with Anthony Ambrosio for anyone wishing to know more about the film and the history. Now for a look at upcoming meetings for boards, commissions, and committees. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Email us or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.